Kafka revolutionized real-time messaging with its producer-consumer model. Now endemic to many real-time platforms, what if you'd rather bypass Kafka's complex configuration and broker setup? You use Dekaf. So, what is Kafka, besides an author who's become synonymous with turning into a bug? Fundamentally, it's an open-source system to manage data in motion. Originally built as an internal messaging system at LinkedIn, Kafka is now maintained as an open-source Apache Foundation project. It provides a standardized way to implement a publish-subscribe, or pub/sub, architecture with its producers and consumers. Pub/sub is a design pattern that decouples message producers and receivers. Services that publish new messages don't need to know exactly where those messages are going. They simply add the message to a specific queue or topic. Services that are subscribed to that topic can then read the message. Apache Kafka implements this pattern at scale, supporting real-time streaming and event-driven updates. Potentially multiple servers or brokers handle traffic between producers and consumers as part of a Kafka cluster. Kafka messages themselves can come in a variety of formats, such as JSON, protobuf, and Avro. Highly structured formats like Avro may store schema information, such as the data types for the message's fields, or support schema evolution. Instead of embedding this information directly into each message, the schema can be stored in a separate schema registry. Even from this extremely brief overview, it's easy to see how a full Kafka ecosystem could become unwieldy. It may make sense to manage all these brokers, clusters, topics, and schema registries yourself if Kafka is going to be integral to your system. And for these use cases, Estuary provides regular Kafka source and destination connectors, so you can easily transfer data between non-Kafka data collections and your own Kafka broker. But it's also common to simply want to integrate with a platform that acts as a Kafka consumer. Platforms like Tinybird, Startree, and Materialize are primarily real-time analytics platforms. They can ingest data in various ways, but because Kafka is so widespread, used at 70% of Fortune 500 companies at last count, it's a standard integration method. The problem is, if you don't already maintain your own Kafka ecosystem, it's a bit of a stretch to build it from the ground up just to be able to integrate with one or two Kafka consumers, even if you get a nice analytics dashboard out of it. That's where Dekaf comes in. Dekaf is Estuary's Kafka API compatibility layer. Essentially, it lets you turn any source data, from an API, database, logs, webhooks, into a stream of Kafka messages. When you use Dekaf, Estuary acts as the Kafka broker and schema registry. This gives you a plug-and-play integration with your Kafka consumer of choice. Estuary can do this relatively seamlessly because its underlying broker, Gazette, shares a lot of similarities with Kafka, down to durable local stores and exactly want semantics. You can set Dekaf up like any other Estuary connector, with some additional configuration on the Kafka consumer side. In Estuary, when you create a new Dekaf destination connector, all you need to provide is a name and a secure auth token or password. You'll also want to link source collections. These data collections will become your Kafka topics. New rows or records in these collections will become Kafka messages. When your Dekaf materialization is ready, you'll need to plug its details into your Kafka consumer. Check out our docs for specific instructions on working with platforms like Tinybird, ClickHouse, Startree, and more. In general, though, here are the details you'll need to know. Since Estuary is hosting the broker and schema registry, these addresses will be decaf.estuary-data.com. The security protocol should be SASL SSL with SASL mechanism plain. Both the SASL and schema registry usernames will be your full materialization name. This usually includes your org name, prefix, and the specific materialization name you chose. Similarly, the SASL and schema registry passwords will be the auth token you chose when setting up your connector. As mentioned, topic names will be your collection names. For these, you don't usually need the full collection name. You can check the exact topic name or customize it in your connector's resource configuration. Most platforms acting as Kafka Consumers will let you fill in these fields through their dashboard. To test our configuration, we can also use kcat, a command-line Kafka tool that we can use in consumer mode. If we put all of our address, username, and password details together using kcat, it would look something like this. We can test out the command to check our Kafka messages in action. New messages print to the console in real time, showcasing the expected message format. And there we have it. Dekaf lets us tap into Kafka without managing brokers or complex setup. Ultimately, whether you choose an Apache Kafka connector or Dekaf connector depends on how much of the underlying Kafka ecosystem you own. Whichever route you go, Estuary gives you options to translate any sort of data into Kafka, streamlining your real-time architecture. Discover all the connections you can make at estuary.dev and set your next data pipeline up in minutes.